was a man named Martin Luther. You've probably heard of him. That Martin Luther was a really good Roman Catholic. Remember that? He was a good Catholic. He was an Augustinian monk, man. And Martin Luther started realizing something. He started realizing, look, my conscience, I go to Mass, I go to confession, and I confess my sins to the priest. The priest says, okay, do this, you're forgiven, etc. Right? So he goes and he does that. But then he starts to realize, number one, there's things that I forgot to ask forgiveness for. And then number two, he starts realizing there are a lot of things that I don't even know that I've done that are sinful. And God being just has to punish those sins. It's like the good Catholic I heard about. He died in his 90s, but he was a really good Catholic. Now he's in hell, unfortunately. But he was a good Catholic. Well, here's the story. So the guy went to Mass every day. Actually, it was for certain seasons in life. It was every day. Most of the time, it's once a week. He'd go to Mass, confess his sins, everything. Afterwards, he'd do that. He'd participate in Lent, the whole 9 yards, right? Yeah. Well, the Bible says there are none who are good, no, not one. So everybody's a bad person. So he was included. Yeah, but being a good Catholic, right? He was in the right standing with God, and at other times he had a wrong standing with God based on his performance, based on whether or not he committed a mortal sin or not, right?
I mean, that's how it works.
Well, that's how the Roman Catholics say it works. That's correct.
That's how I would say. I'm Roman Catholic.
Right, exactly. So here's this good Catholic right now. This good Catholic, he goes to Mass every single week of his life for 90-something years. He was born as a member of the Roman Catholic Church. He was baptized as a baby. He became a communicant, everything member, like at 13. I mean, the guy was amazing.
Right.
He was a quote-unquote, from the outside, good guy. Right. Always in Mass, always confessing his sins. He was one of the best friends to the priest. The priest loved this guy. And then this poor guy, when he's 92 years old, he goes to Mass, confesses his sins right there, right? He confesses all his sins. The priest says, okay, do this, you're good. He does what the priest tells him to do. He walks out of Mass. And then he has this really ferociously lustful thought that goes through his head. And he remembers Christ, who says adultery is not just performing it physically with somebody, it's what's in your mind. And if you look at a woman with lust in your mind, it's the same sin as adultery. It's the same. So here's this man, he's walking out, he sees this woman. Now, granted, she's a beautiful woman. Come on, she's beautiful. And granted, like most of the women today, she's hardly wearing anything. I know it's like 50 degrees outside, right? But I mean, they're not, it's like they're wearing the bikini out. And so he's walking out of Mass, and you know what he does? He lustfully looks at this woman. And then he gets hit by a car right after that.
And he goes to hell because of...
He's dead. He's in hell. Why? Because he, though a good Catholic, committed a mortal sin right before he died. Now this good Catholic is in hell. You know what I call that? A false gospel. Because Paul tells us,
I mean,
you can have assurance.
I mean, no shade towards you or anything.
Yeah, please don't shade me, man.
I gotta get going soon or whatever.
Ooh,
I'm Catholic. I understand what you are saying.
Yeah, how would you respond to that biblically? Here's the Bible. I'll let you use it.
Well, but no, I'm saying I gotta get going, but like, at the end of the day, I probably have to agree to disagree with like some of what you are saying, but I understand what you're saying.
Now, right, so just think about this, right?
Yeah.
If the good Catholic didn't have that lustful thought, and let's say he gets hit by the bus.
Right.
Is he in hell? No. Where is he? He's in heaven. Now, you know what he would say? Not by my definition, according to the Roman Catholic Catechism.
Yeah.
This is what would happen. He would go to heaven,
Right.
and when he gets there, he would say, I'm going to heaven because I didn't have that lustful thought, because I went to Mass, because I went to church, because I was baptized, because me. Whereas true Christianity, the true gospel, the true good news, that's what gospel means, is this. I stand before God, and he says, why should you go to heaven? And I say, I shouldn't go. I've done nothing worthy of heaven. Even when I go to church, I go with certain selfish motives. Even when I give money to a homeless man, it's always tainted with me.
Hey, I gotta get going. But...
You know who gets the glory for that? God. He says, I I'm in heaven. I'm going to heaven because I trust in what Christ has done. I trust in His word. My friend,
I understand.
turn from that wicked, evil, pagan system of idolatry, superstition, magic, everything else, and turn to the one true Jesus Christ. Now,